We are edging ever closer within the final month of the countdown now to the Cheltenham Festival, and this is the 12th episode of our Road to Cheltenham series. As of now, we are nominal and over on all 28 races at the Cheltenham Festival. We've got more confirmations this week, and then next week we get the handicap entries as well. It's getting ever closer, gents. How excited are we getting, Frankie?
We're getting there, aren't we? It's time to really start getting stuck into a couple of bets and starting to have an opinion, because the markets are really starting to take shape, and we've seen quite a lot of what we're going to now on the run up to the festival in terms of the big guns. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We are getting closer and racing looks good.
And Joel, most of these are the final runs now, so obviously the clues are already there for us.
Yeah, I don't think it's looking for value anymore. It's looking for winners now, isn't it? Any of the value that we managed to hoover up, I think it's all about the winners now. And I do this every year as well. About a month out, I feel like a Nicky Henderson horse. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the festival this year. The throat goes. I think, I'll be honest with you, I could do with a month off and then just go straight to Aintree. I'm not feeling it again this year. I can't cope with you young boys.
Like a Paul Nicholls horse then now, straight to Aintree. Yeah, so we all know and know better now at all 28 races. I must just say as well, obviously, please like and subscribe this programme, and you'll get notified whenever there's a new episode, and in the Punters Guide as well. So you must do that. I will notify you when you can see us three beautiful faces anytime we release an episode. Right, boys, only one place to start, isn't there? It is the Arkle, not just because of what happened on the track, but also off the track as well. First of all, the news of Sir Gino, and then later on after the race, the Game Spirit that he missed, we kind of heard that he regressed a little bit in his recovery, but all should be okay, and he should get a prep run in, I think, looking at the Pendle at Kempton on Adonis weekend. And then we had Load of Sud in the Kingmaker, who, okay, only scrambled home, but the way he jumped those 5 fences down the back, he's already been to Cheltenham and he's won. He's unbeaten over fences. Okay, he wasn't as good a hurdler as Sir Gino and Madgeborough, but Rubo's actually waited to beat him on hurdles figures at the weekend, and he probably just idled in front. I was taken with him. I was surprised he was left unchanged, Joel.
Yeah, me too as well. But I think you are looking at the top of the market, aren't you? And you're looking at Sir Gino and Madgeborough. And Frankie put in our little WhatsApp group over the weekend, there's got to be some value in this race, especially with Sir Gino. We know it's a Henderson horse, and we know it would only take 3 days to heal, but it's a Henderson horse. If Sir Gino were to come out, we wouldn't be shocked, would we? And then you've got another couple of places there. So Load of Sud, that's booked for a place, but there's got to be some value somewhere in this field. And I kept going back and forth, and all we're doing was throwing names, and that could be in the frame or whatever. I still have it between the top 2 in the market, and I'm playing for a 3rd place. But I was impressed with Load of Sud at the weekend. Really, really, really impressed. But 10-1. Still a bit short. Is there horses at 33s and 40s who have pretty much the same ability, or I mean, what do you think? Because I'm pretty much all over Madgeborough for the Arkle. That's where my my mind has been, and I'm not changing away from that. And also, we're getting the value as well. And if Sir Gino doesn't run, wow.
And no, look, like I said, on the WhatsApp group, we mentioned names left, right, and centre. What about this? What about that? What about this? But none of us were really latching on to winning. Are these 3 just going to be the first 3? It is Load to Sud, like Joel says, the account close, the absolute each-way steal, bet to nothing, because he's been there, he's done it, he's unbeaten over fences, and it's hard to see him out the 3. And then you've got the added, obviously, with the Sir Gino slightly in the balance, Frankie.
Yeah, I guess, but I mean,
no,
9-1. Am I that bothered about him coming 3rd? I'd rather be having like a sniff at a 33s or a 50 to try and come 3rd. He's in a bit of a funny place. I don't think he's going to win. I do think he'll probably be in the frame, but he's not exactly priced that excitingly. Just to rewind a step, what do you think Sir Gino might go off if he had to go straight to the festival? And how do you think? And how much of a negative do you think that would be for him?
Well, I did some research because I Now to Kill this morning, and was just having a look at the Arkle and horses that have just had one run over fences and then to the Arkle. Well Chief 2004 and Western Warhorse 2014. So a lot have tried it and it's been a negative. So 2 in 21 years, and I think it will be a negative. And I think I think you're probably looking at around, it'd be odds against, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
If he got,
money, wouldn't you? Yeah.
If he didn't have another run, Magsborough for me would go off favourite.
You think?
I agree. That's why. That's why I'm looking at it. And we don't want the same situation as Constitution Hill last year. And look, a lot of people were on at 92 for State Man, and Wins won the worst champion hurdles in a long while. But it's all about making the money, isn't it? You want to see the good horses, but you prefer to have a 92 winner than a 1-8 loser.
I mean, let's go through the others. I mean, we mentioned Mr. Jiff. That was the other one, wasn't it? That was we kind of latched onto. He's a 16 shot. Springwell Bay, I think, is going for the handicap. Touch Me Not. It's been put in his place already by Magsborough. Gidley Park. I'm not sure if he's going to go. Atlantique needs softer ground. Obviously, Firefox is the one you can set your watch by. But again, he's got. I can't see him. Obviously, I know you're looking for third, but he's got no chance. I don't think of winning it. Only by Night's going for the mares. Django Bay will be over further. So it's going to be a small field, isn't it?
I'd rather back Firefox at his price than I would Road To Cheltenham. I was just having a look. I didn't want to play the interview out loud, but I threw in the big lump Je ne Lapin, didn't I? Into our chat. I don't know what he is, 80-1. He was fourth at Leopardstown. Magsborough obviously was in first, and he was only 3 or 4 lengths behind Firefox. That was his second start. He's a big lump. He's only running, I think, 2 points. He's running 3 points and 2 races. You never know. There could still be a bit of improvement left in him. He's huge. I feel like he has to learn how to use his big body. And he was only 3 lengths behind Firefox in a race where Magsborough went flat out. He's like 80s, I think. So that's your absolute wild card in the Arkle field for me.
But we're not going to know bet now. So the beauty is you can have a few darts at those bigger prices, and if you get your money back if it doesn't go. So that is the beauty of the market like this. But I was quite surprised, though, to was on. I think it's because of his finishing effort and the fact Rubo was closing down on him. But obviously, Rubo had plenty of flat speed. How good he is around tight tracks, and as I say, he's actually weighted on hurdles form and the revised weights to beat Road To Cheltenham. So. And the way he won that race with those 5 fences down the back straight. He took about 6 or 7 lengths out of Rubo, and the race was won on the home turn. So, I still think he's a definite candidate. And if Sir Gino doesn't go, I am still a big Magsborough fan. I am a huge Magsborough fan, but there's a few sticky jumps, and the way Lotus winged at Warwick, it could just catch him out. And then if he's tapped for toe, that second last is a bit tricky. Let's move on to the Ryanair then, because we saw J-Lo winning the Denman Chase. Looks like this is his aim, 12-1, and I know Frankie sent us that incredible Venetia Williams stat.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I heard it, but I'm pretty sure I heard correctly that the yard has won the most Grade 1s out of any British-based trainer this season, and I guess it adds up with all the Saturday winners they've been having. But it's a hell of a stat, for the ammo they've got to be picking up as many Grade 1s as they have, and most of them are coming.
Was it Grade 1s or was it graded races?
Graded races, sorry, graded races, not Grade 1s, yeah. But most of them come in these 2.5 to 3 mile chases, don't they? Because just seem to do such a great job paired with Charlie riding them. It just seems to really work for them. And Jello is a perfect example of that. He was being scrubbed along just before turning for home when the pace quickened, but then he had a load of horse under him once he jumped the last. I thought it was quite an impressive performance. And I think he puts himself into the Ryanair frame, to be honest with you. It's always a bit like this, the Ryanair, isn't it? It's probably the race that least who's going to turn up, because it is that middle distance and you could go either way with plenty of horses. But I think he put himself in the frame, to be honest. I thought it was a nice performance, and it's a horse that seems to just keep getting better.
I mean, it's interesting. I'm just actually looking at what she has won this year. So graded races, Europa Guy, Grade 1. J-Lo's won a pair of Grade 2s. Long Press has won a Grade 2. So that's 4 Grade 2s, but she's had Victorino win at the Silver Cup at Ascot. Gemarand, of course, the December Gold Cup. Farah Bamboo in the rehearsal. Fontaine Collonge winning after Europa Guy. Martator won a big handicap, the Hurst Park at Ascot as well. So, some cracking big handicap wins as well. But 4 graded races, and she's the top trainer in terms of graded action in the UK. I mean, I'm not sure.
So if I've got that right,
Yeah, it would be. It sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, it does. It's very impressive. Those all of them are just proper chasers, aren't they?
Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, the Ryanair is going to be some race, though, isn't it, Joel? I mean, obviously, the Gold Cup, this will be a small field. People scared to take on Galloping Deschamps. And the Champion Chase, obviously John Bond, a shorty in there. So the Ryanair could be a decent field.
Joel's...
Yes, it can, Matt. Yes, I thought you. I'm glad you agreed.
Joel's frozen. I was just looking at the potential runners for the Ryanair as you were chatting, Matt. And as Joel said at the top of the show, we're maybe less looking for value as we get close to the festival and more looking for winners. And as we are non-runner, no bet, I just see Factifile at the top of the market, and I picture, even him finishing behind Galloping Deschamps last time. And I do kind of think if he turns up and he runs, he won at the festival last year. We know he likes Cheltenham. He's pretty hard to look past, isn't it? He could be a bit of a class above the field. And I don't think it's the worst idea to have a go on him, non-runner, no bet, at whatever price he is, because we want the winners.
Get stuck into, couldn't he? Are you with us, Joel?
I'm with you, yeah. Is it not time to dive in on Gaelic Warrior now? Is it not the time?
For what race?
Go for the Ryanair?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he will he? I think he'd be tempting.
Well, you just said doesn't run, get your money back.
Yeah, fair point.
You know what I mean. So I think it was about 8-1 beforehand with where you're probably doing your money. Or what is it now? 7-2, 4-1, something along those lines. Yeah. I'd be quite happy because Illifronte will go the Champion Chase. I don't know if you mentioned that while I was off on a different planet. Protectorat over the weekend. Skelton was really talking up Protectorat at the weekend. It's still not a favourite of mine, but come out the race bouncing, and we seem pretty confident. But I'd have to go in now there with Gaelic Warrior, and doesn't go on the day, get my money back, and then it's a lump on Factifile, isn't it? Factifile.
Okay, interesting. All right, that's the Ryanair. What about the mares? There were plenty of trials. I say plenty of trials. They were all small field races, weren't they? We had Telepathic, which threw her hat into the ring for Lucy Wadham. What a story that would be. She won at Huntingdon, wasn't it? And then we had Dino Blue winning at Naas on Saturday. And then yesterday, Only by Night was your winner at Exeter. So we have three mares all winning, throwing their hat into the ring for the mare chase. Did any of them strike you as a potential winner of this contest, Joel?
No, I keep coming back to Limerick Race, and I know it was smashed on New Year's Day, 25 lengths by is that Algarve de Vasse?
Algarve de Vasse.
That's the one. Won it last year, beating Dino Blue, and it's only drifted. And I thought it was like, is this going to be some sort of setup job or something like that? Right colours, ticks all your boxes. And I backed Dino Blue last year, so I was devastated.
Painful.
But, yeah, absolutely painful. But Limerick Lace for me. Ran in the Betfred Chase. It was, hugely disappointing on awful ground at Haydock. But no, I keep coming back to Limerick Lace, thinking that they've got a plan here.
Yeah, it's got plenty in there. Dino Blue, Bioluminescence, Impervious, Limerick Lace, of course, all owned by JP, who does like to win this race. Dino Blue's your favourite, though, Frankie. Were you taking with her the way she lowered Algorithm fastest colours?
She did, yeah. And I think that they're priced correctly because Algarve de Vasse, we know, is slightly better going right-handed. And I imagine that's why Paul Townend rode fairly wide, just to use the fence as a little bit of a keep me in and keeping her jumping straighter than she can. And she might not get that luxury at Cheltenham. So I think it was a decent performance by Dino Blue. I do agree with Joel. It's annoyingly a bit of a race where you might want to wait and see where the money goes because JP has enough chances in here, and they're all pretty smart mares. So you couldn't rule out any of them really winning. I did think that Telepathic run a nice race. I think out of the three that won at the weekend, she's best value anyway. She's won 2 on the bounce now. The previous race she won by 9 lengths, nice and easily. She was jumping slightly to her left, going right-handed at Huntingdon, which is obviously a negative, but still won pretty well. She's got some decent form to back up what she's doing. It's not like she's beating just, winning pretty average races. There's a couple of nice horses in amongst her previous form. I thought she might have shortened up a touch more for that. Maybe because it's not flashy owner, trainer, jockey on the form book. So I thought Telepathic ran a nice race.
Okay. Let's have a look then. Get that French sounding one. Well, the Brown Advisory, the 10 up yesterday, better days ahead. Just hung on from Stella Story. Going now that race. But Better Days had 8-1. Stella Story 20-1. And maybe the extra stamina test you thought of Cheltenham Main Street the second. Are they priced accordingly? Are they priced right in your eyes, Frankie?
No, I thought Stella Story would be closer for that run, especially considering he won at the festival last year. The Albert Bartlett takes a lot out of horses, and I wonder whether he was deliberately his campaign was deliberately quietened down at the start of this year, and they maybe were always just building back up to the festival with him, and to finish as close as he did to Better Days Ahead, I think was a great performance. What worries me, or what means I might be willing more so to side with someone like Stella Story at a bigger price, is that Ballyburn put Croke Park in his place, who was pretty evenly matched with Better Days Ahead. Does that mean that he has got the holding of both of those two? I'd probably say so. And they're both 10-1 each, whereas Stella Story, I could kind of see him just rising back to his peak as we get to the festival, and he is twice the price. So out of the pair, that would be the one I'd take out of it. But it is interesting to think back to Ballyburn really putting Croke Park in his place. Does he have the hold of quite a lot of these? Maybe.
There you go, Joel. What do you think about that?
I thought Better Days Ahead was going to get beaten yesterday, especially over that final obstacle. And then you realise they've got the same trainer. I was really impressed with Stella Story. And between the two of them, I'd take Stella Story at the prices. We talked about this race maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I was quite big on Better Days Ahead at 16s that day. But I keep coming back to Croke Park here. And Frankie's mentioned those 5 lengths behind Ballyburn. But I think Croke Park is really, really underappreciated this season.
10-1.
Yeah, I was really tempted to put this up as an anti-post this week. And the price has not got any shorter. It's not got any bigger throughout. It just hung around there, and the flashier horses are there. And I think Croke Park is really underappreciated and just keeps staying and staying and staying. I get what Frankie says about the, Ballyburn having the measure of a lot of these, but I think it's a price play, and I'd be very happy going in with a 10-1 ticket on Croke Park.
Okay, interesting.
Would be very frustrating for Gordon Elliott not to win this race with Croke Park, Stella Story, and Better Days Ahead. They're all very good 3-mile chasers, aren't they? It'd be annoying to have them all in there. And
would one go for the National Hunt Chase? I know it's a handicap now, but or would he obviously the ratings have got? And because 2 of them are Gigginstown, aren't they?
Yeah, it's true. Yes, not a bad idea. It's a race that doesn't seem to have a standout in either this year, does it? There's normally one that you kind of think, could be a national.
Coming back to that, I must mention Haiti Kalori ran a encouraging third, I think, over hurdles.
Yeah.
I mean, they're talking maybe National Hunt Chase or Ultima. Where do you think he's most likely to go?
I'd say National Hunt Chase might suit him better, just a slightly slower pace and a bit more of a bit more of a slogger, as opposed to the Ultima can be a bit quicker and a few kind of younger, classier horses in there.
I like him. I'll probably be backing him wherever he goes. I'm not sure where he is going.
I mean, the Ultima is a more attractive race to win, isn't it, as an owner? But
it is.
No one really cares about the National Hunt Chase that much. But
it's a bit deeper, isn't it? Irico, Lowry's Bar, Highland maybe in there. So lots of good novices in the Ultimate National Hunt Chase. You're right, yeah. It's interesting to see how it goes now, being a handicap. For the first time. Right. You just teased that, Joel, then. So we'll start with you. Anti-post pick this week. Is it Croke Park? Have you got something else for us?
Well, now you put this thing in my head now that it might not go there. But I'm going to go with it. I watched a couple of interviews with Gordon.
You want to go back, Joel?
Yeah, I watched over the weekend some interviews with Gordon and whatever. He didn't really give anything away. And I think he's going to send as many as possible. And I'd go for Brown Advisory, Croke Park. I'll have 10s. Thank you very much.
Okay. Right, Frankie. What is your anti-post pick this week, please?
I thought I'd better get one at a price on the board.
5-2?
Well, I kind of stick with my gut here. I don't actually know if he will run, and the stats are against him because he's getting on a bit. But I've said for the entire season, that Lamilos will be better back up in trip, and he won pretty nicely over 2.5 at the weekend. He might get battered by the handicapper, but Lamilos for the Ultima, which I did say on our punters guide on Friday at 33s one when he was there.
You did, and you did say he might get clobbered by the handicapper. However, he would be quite well in on his Hennessy victory, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would. Yeah, he'd have to go up loads to be back to that mark. So I'd say it would be a cunning plan to get right down the weights, get a cheeky win over 2.5 to give the old, he's coming back to his best, and then step him up and really see him at his best. So I've got to stick with my gut here. I think there's a big performance in him over 3 miles, and that would be the race for him at the festival.
Okay, right. I am going to steal one of Joel's, and I'm not sure if he's seen this or he might have missed it over the weekend. Well, you mentioned on the show a few weeks ago in the juvenile department a horse called Mercia, didn't you?
Yeah.
When Willie Mullins is and all the been barking over in Ireland. Well, he made his appearance at Naas this weekend in a little juvenile hurdle, and he finished second, flying home. Only beaten, was it your neck, in the end? Now, the beauty of that, I should say, is that race at Naas has produced 4 of the last 6 winners of the Fred Winter. Ooh. Bearing in mind, I think Brazil, Jazzy Matty last year. She's a French bred. You've got an excellent record in the race. And always look at that race with a view to the Fred Winter. And she comes out. She's the shortest price of those that contended it now. So Bacchanalian won it. She was second. You see what mark that she gets. I know Willie Mullins hasn't got a great record in the race, but she might just change that. So they threw her in that race. That's got such a good record to finding the winner of the big one. She's 10-1. It's nominal no bet. I know she's a massive price for the Triumph. You were talking about her for the Triumph. She was well beaten, obviously, against when she's put in at a deep level. And she might just be sending the Fred Winter back to Closutton. So, yeah, Mercia, for me, she was well beaten behind Hello Neighbour. She set up just 7-1 in that over Christmas. And then she was beaten a neck by Bacchanalian the other day. And I think she may be the one. So there you are, Mercia, 10-1 for the Fred Winter. You missed that, didn't you?
I did. I very much missed that. I was too busy trying to work out what would you do, right? And I know this is more Punter's Guide. If you had Brave Man's Game, what would you do with that horse now? I'll go first. Send it to Ireland. End off.
Is the ground? Did the ground not beat him on? So I knew they were having rain, but I think they got a little bit more than was expected. He doesn't go on soft ground, does he?
Yeah, I think it's all. And also Hitman as well. Obviously found one too good, and the
soft man
really helped.
The thing is with Brave Man's Game, he wasn't going to win. Jello was far too good, but I thought he got blindsided, Harry Cobden, by Jello just coming flying down the outside, and he still really hadn't asked him a question. But you're right, there wasn't much there when he did ask him. What do you do with Brave Man's Game? You probably put him away. Obviously, they're going to go for the National. Maybe look at next year's Charlie Hall on decent ground, and then off to the fields. It's just I don't know what race there is for him now.
No. Couple of others on the radar.
Yes, please.
Favour and Fortune.
Oh, hang on. We haven't mentioned yours. So, if you did see the Punter's Guide on Friday, I did do Frankie disservice by texting him saying he did mention about 15 to 17 runners, but actually on replay, he didn't. He mentioned 3 in the big race on Saturday, and they finished first, second, and fourth.
Oh, heartbreak. And do you know what? As I'm watching this going, hang on a minute, we could be in here. And it looked at the time like I was going to finish first, second, and fourth, as I eventually did. And the horse that was in third at the time, I think, was Secret Squirrel, who fell and put me into 1, 2, 3. And I'm come on. And then Gav Sheehan, as always, with a hold-up ride, just comes and nicks third place from me. So, yeah, it was brutal because I had the trifecta backed. But the horse I want to mention is the 4th horse, Favour and Fortune, purely because none of Alan King's horses are running well. None of them are finishing their races off. He's operating at a 0% strike rate. Edwardstone completely tailed at the end of the race. And Favour and Fortune, I'd imagine his mark will be unchanged, potentially even go down £1. And I feel like if the yard does come into any sort of form pre-Cheltenham, he can still run a half decent race if he won for the county, maybe, but it's probably not. You want to kind of see everything that goes and their marks and everything. But just to keep an eye on him for the county, I think if the yard comes into better form, he does have a race in him, maybe.
Even that, I know with the Road to Cheltenham, but even going further ahead, Aintree, and of course he won the Scottish Champion Hurdle. So to Airby back on spring ground, he's certainly one who, as you say, he's kind of maintaining his form despite the odd not firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, exactly. And he hasn't. Yeah, I just feel like there's a bit of he hasn't hit his ceiling. He could go up to 145 maybe, and he's around the 140 mark, and he's a decent 2-mile hurdler. So one to keep on side. And then there was Ross O'Sullivan, trained the winner of a Hunter Chase.
Oh, Rye Hill.
Yeah, beat on the line, who never looked like he wanted to really race. He's quite hard to work out that horse, isn't he? But
what there was money for, I did see this. There was money for him. He was really well backed, and he won it in very good style. Now, this is the race that the likes of
the horse that won it a couple of years in a row from that when Paddy Mullins picked up a ban.
Yeah,
no, you're thinking of
his name escaped me. But Rye Hill, 7-1.
Yeah. He hasn't done loads of racing like a lot of these Hunter Chasers. They go into there with like 20 odd runs.
Billaway.
That's the one. Yeah, great horse. I thought he's one that he hasn't really shortened too well. I don't know what it was beforehand, but he's still an each way price anyway. So
interesting. Yeah, I did catch my eye in the last as well. Some big racing over in Ireland this weekend. Some more. We've got Garum Park this week as well. A couple of trials there. Haydock and Ascot. Then we've got Kempton. And then that's pretty much it for the Cheltenham runners, you would imagine, getting a little bit closer to the festival. So this week, confirmations for some of the grade ones. We've got entries for the mares races as well. And then next Tuesday, the 18th, the handicap entries will be in. And the following Tuesday, we get the weights as well. So that's when we really do ramp up in those shoulder races, the handicaps. And we'll have plenty more ammunition to go at in terms of trying to find you some good anti-post value. So 3 for this week. Joel, Croke Park in the Brown Advisory. Frankie, Lamilos, 20-1 in the Ultimate, and I've gone for Mercia 10-1 the Fred Winton. They are all now here at Betfred, non-runner, no bet. So thank you, boys. Looking forward to the weekend. Ascot and Haydock.
Certainly am. Ascot. I like the Ascot Chase. That's a nice card.
Yeah. I like the Grand National Trial. That's
there we are.
Not a Grand National Trial.
No, proper north-south.
If we're in any sort of form, Joel found a 25-1 winner on the Punters Guide. We had a couple between us. I almost got the trifecta in the big handicap. We did all right this weekend.
Yeah.
You're living off that one for a while.
To be fair, 25-1 Royal Margot, well backed.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, and I also nearly got the winner of the King George as well. So I'll be living off that if he can live off this trifecta for the next 2 years.
Yeah, true. Yeah. How much did you get back, Frankie?
Nil.
On Boxing Day.
Right, we did the forecast, and we're going to Barbados.
Right, join us Friday, Punters Guide, trying to find some winners at Ascot and Haydock, and then we'll react to it all on the next instalment of the Road to Cheltenham.